Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Phase 1, the show where we look at pre-release content. Today we're looking at Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. This is a third-person shooter, mainly multiplayer. There is a kind of single-player component, but I really wouldn't call it that. There's also a PvE mode, kind of like a horde mode. The main meat of this game is going to be the multiplayer, which is what we're going to be talking about. This is pretty much the third game in the Garden Warfare series without being called Garden Warfare. Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. This is the Founders Edition, so essentially what that means is it's $30 right now. The game's going to be out in October for $40, so you save $10 if you buy it early. Every week there's going to be a content drop for new content up until the game's release. So you can play all the modes early, I guess, and save $10. And also, every time you log in per week, you have access to some new skins and items. So, this is week 4. There is my... Oh, that's a very cool skin, actually. We're gonna put that on right now, if we can. No, I think we have to be in-game or in a booth. So, let's go over there. Let's head on into the portal. We've selected Turf Takeover, which is a 24-player match. Basically, it's a set of objectives, and this is like the main meat of the game. If Battlefield has Conquest, Plants vs. Zombies has Turf Takeover. Which is kind of funny, because this is also in the Frostbite engine. Which is why it looks, bizarrely beautiful. Right. So, yeah, Plants vs. Zombies. Zombies have a set of characters, Plants have a set of characters, and they all do their own thing. There's some new characters that have been added in since Garden Warfare 2, I believe. This dude is one of them, and... yeah, this one too. I'm fairly sure. Now, the first Garden Warfare was actually a really cool budget title. I mean, I wouldn't say budget in that it was bad or it looked bad, but limited in content, but it was like, fairly inexpensive. Got a costume right here. Let's see. Yeah, looking spiffy. I kind of like that. But the first Garden Warfare was pretty cool, and you had microtransactions, but it wasn't too bad. A lot of skins that would alter your play style. In that it would give you like these really cool, unique abilities. Like it would just customize like either it would customize your kit or it would just customize your appearance in a way like when you actually shot something like the pea shooter in this case, like with this knight's armor on, it's still the green peas firing out. It's not like rocks or boulders like medieval knights with catapults. I don't know why I thought of that in my head just now, but that's what I think of when I think of knights. I think boulders or rocks for catapults. It's still green peas for some reason, but in the other games, it was cool because, like, if it was like a berry blast skin, if they were advertising for a drink, you still get a free skin. You get this, like, cool, blue berry attack. It was nice. It actually looked cool, and it worked. It was a well-designed skin, even if it was just an ad. Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. This is one of the newer zombies. And so is that one. And I got completely dominated. There was a little bit of lag there, too. Not that it killed me, just that it kind of was there. So yeah, this is still in a beta phase. EA likes to say, oh, it's just an early opportunity for you to play our great game. Like, no, it's a beta. There's issues. There's lag. There is some pretty nasty frame rate drops. I mean, nothing horrible, but, like, basically when I'm in the middle of a fight, I'll have, like, 110 frames, and then all of a sudden, like, I'll just jerk to the left, and it'll drop 40 frames, which does affect your aiming, might I add. It really can screw you up. It's like a stutter. Like a jitter every time you're about to, like, I don't know, get a kill or you come close. Like, see, like, right here, you might not see it in the recording, but that definitely got choppy for me, because a lot of stuff is happening on screen. It's not great. I'm running at 1440p, not even at ultra settings. I lowered everything down to high. I'm still having these problems, and it's dropping below 60 at times. It's not great. And that's on a 1070 Ti with an 8700K. I want to hear, oh, well, you're just complaining about, like, it's pointless to complain about these things because you have such a high-end rig. Oh, poor baby. Like, no, a lot of people don't run what I'm running. They're going to have way worse graphics cards and processors. I am looking out for you. This is not a complaint, personally, from me. I'm usually fine with these little issues here and there. I used to own a budget rig. It is not fun. It is not fun to be playing at like 30 FPS sometimes in the middle of a multiplayer game. Anyway, So yeah, this feels like a Garden Warfare 2 asset flip. I'm just gonna say it, like, right now. A lot of content seems to be recycled. A lot of animations are recycled. Maps even I think from Garden Warfare 1. You know, it's okay to recycle popular maps, but geez, really? And you're charging $40, you're going to be charging $40 for this, and it makes me worried because what are your terms for long-term content? Are you just going to release everything and then just kind of release like a map every like 6 months, like you've been doing with Battlefield 5 and Battlefront 2, where games are just already, you know, not that fun to begin with or kind of incomplete, and then you just kind of release these, you know, tiny, minuscule updates. You know, the microtransactions, you know, we really cut back on that, and it's like, we don't have a season pass, so we believe in free, minimal content updates for all players. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go back to playing Battlefield Bad Company 2, or Battlefield 1, because that game's actually feature complete, and it's cheap. You know, why would I play this? Why would I play Battlefield 5? They're boring. This game's not that bad, though. It is quite fun. I never really had a problem with this franchise, the Garden Warfare franchise, or the Battle for Neighborville franchise. You know, they're fun enough, but the problem is that by killing the variant classes in this new iteration, you're kind of dumbing down the characters and classes. Like, you have more classes, but they only have 3 abilities each, and there's not much you can do to customize them. I mean, you know, Team Fortress 2 gets away with, you know, a minimum amount of abilities, but they have, you know, updates that give you more items to mess around with. And, you know, there's balance to be, you know, questioned in there, but I'd rather have a game to be, you know, balanced over time and, you know, as you go, and still have lots of content and stuff to play with, because there's only so much you can do with the pea shooter class with 3 items. You know, you got this. Let's see if I can actually get him. Oh, looks like someone else did. You know, you got that ability, and then you got the, you know, this thing. And then, you got this little, bean bomb. And it's like that for the other classes, too. The other, race. Do you even say race? It's zombies. Like, it's a race. It's plants, and, yeah. I don't know. You also have a sprint button. Yeah, okay. Maps are a little bigger, maybe. Maybe they've been modified slightly. I'll let this guy heal him. He's a little faster. But, you know, there's dumb omissions that they didn't fix in Garden Warfare, since Garden Warfare 2. Like, when you're shooting some enemies with certain weapons, it just doesn't feel satisfying, like you're popping bubbles. There's a bunch of, like, I don't know, the voices can get a little grating sometimes with the childishness. Sometimes, like, when the AI are talking to you, it's just really insufferable. The Sunflower, in particular, is pretty bad. There's just goo-goo gaga voices. Yeah, you know, it's for kids. Like, well, you know, kids don't want to be kids all the time. Like, sometimes they want to do what the cool teenagers are doing. You know? You know, like when you blow up the scoreboard, little things, like, no ping right here. Annoying. No chat box. Still annoying. No one's been communicating. I have not heard one person say anything. If we look at the options menu, I don't think there's anything in there. Like, you just kind of go down, like, okay, kind of the same looking things as, previous game. Voice chat, you know, it's off by, I think by default. It might be push to talk by default, or, you know, one of the two. At least it's not always on. You know, high settings, whatever. UI and HUD. Vanquish feed, connections, you know, no. Where's the chat box option? Can I chat with my fellow gamers? Can we chat about rising up? No, you can't do that. And why would you? There's not a lot of team-based, you know, cooperation, or at least the game doesn't encourage it. It's kind of a clusterfuck the entire time. And that's a bit of a problem, because, you know, it can be a fun, cluster truck. But, sometimes you just have these standoffs where you're just kind of hovering around these control points or whatever. It just doesn't work. I mean, you do have the abilities, which does make it more interesting than Battlefield 5, which does feel like you're playing on a, you know, a hallway map. But again, there's only so much you can do. In the previous games, they did it way better. If you look at the replacement for the alternative skins and variants in this game, I'll show you right here. Like, okay, here are your characters, you know, a decent selection. You we're going to go with the cactus. We're going to go to customize over here. We can change, his loadout, as I showed you a little bit earlier, for the visuals. And that's just visuals only. And you could have different, so I guess you can experiment over here a little bit. But it's these perks that you're really going to be messing around with. And you could have like 3 variants of these perks because, 1, 2, 3 over here. But these are boring. These are just boring. Like, look at this. Refreshing Revive. Faster refresh time for all abilities by reviving an ally. Okay. Best Defense. Briefly reduce incoming damage by earning a critical vanquish. Can stack 3 times. Okay. Where's the alternate costumes with the alternate abilities? Where are my badass skins? That aren't just like that actually recolor your abilities and like are themed. Where is that? It's not here. Like, you've not only just taken Garden Warfare 2 and added some DLC for it that you're charging $40 for, but you're just like taking a bunch of cool stuff out. And I get it. Like, maybe you're like, okay, I didn't care about that stuff. That's fine. Like, maybe, like, you just want to play Garden Warfare 2 again. You don't have to pay for full price for it, which is not bad. $30, half the price. Brand new community. Like, you get full games here. I'll give you that. Some people, like, okay, I just want to play the game because everyone's going to be playing it. I do like the franchise. Hey, you can't argue with this. Full lobbies, right? But that's in the early access period. And I'd say to that, listen, Garden Warfare 2 died on PC. It is dead. And that was like a year and a half after release. Maybe a year. It started to really get bad, and then now it's a complete ghost town. But what's to stop that from happening to this game? Yes, it looks populated now, but what happens when people start to get burned out after release? People who have been, buying this game, at release, are going to be like, oh, cool, like, I'll get to play this game. But then the founders have been like, oh, I've been playing this for, like, 8 or 9 weeks now. I'm bored. Because now they're going to have to wait for the new content updates. And yeah, they are adding new stuff, as we go for the content release. So I don't think they're going to be super bored with it. But the problem is that, gosh, you're just replaying a lot of the same missions and modes from Garden Warfare 2. I don't know. And there's not much of a community because no one's really talking to each other. No one's, like, coordinating. It's just so bare bones. And I get it. You're trying to sell it to kids, right? But, you could do better. Garden Warfare 1 did it better, and Garden Warfare 2 did it better. And you barely gave this game any promotion aside from this early Founders Edition, which is not a good sign. Just releasing a game, albeit in early access, to drum up promotion for the final release, doesn't show me that you have a lot of confidence in your title. And that's really bad because it's not just a financially bad thing for you. It's bad for me too, because eventually I might not have a player base to go to weeks after this game is out. Maybe not weeks, maybe more like a couple months. Unless you can give us good reasons to continue to play. Extra content helps. Develop a social community. Do clans. Do more, like, team-based objectives that, get players to work together. Because it's just a cluster truck. It's awful. Core gameplay is still fun. If you like Garden Warfare 2, you'll like this one, but it still requires more tweaking. The feedback is still, oh yeah, when you're shooting them, you hear bubbles popping. It just doesn't sound that great. Not the worst online shooter you can play, but it's not the most in-depth, and I think that's going to kill it. I really think this is just a dead on arrival series. It's going to just drop in player base very quickly after launch. I don't think it's going to be dead after launch, but it's going to be dying really quick. I don't know. I mean, if you're a mega fan, you've already bought the game, and you're probably going to get your 8 weeks worth for your money. But if you're not, you're probably going to get it and probably play on launch and just enjoy it for the little bit that you have. And then if you happen to really like it, well, you might not be able to play it for as long as you want to after the game's been out for a while. People are just going to move on to the next thing. I don't know. I don't know. Only time will tell. This is all speculation. I'm kind of rambling at this point. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, I have some videos here in the annotations. I'll see you next time. I'm out.